Hello, welcome back to the channel. Buy an early 2000s reg Rover, they said. Enjoy it, they said. Actually, no one said that. Actually, a lot of people advised me against it. But I bought one anyway. And now, it looks like I'm not regretting it, but it started to show its colours. The other day, it wouldn't start. Drove to a location, turned it off, waited for my partner to come out of work, went to go home, tried to start it, wouldn't fire. It was a diesel, it was cranking, but it wouldn't start. So had to abandon it there, got a lift home, came back to it later that day with the mechanic. He plugged his box in and it said low pressure fuel circuit. We had to identify which fuel pump was playing up. And these particular cars have 3 fuel pumps. They have a lift pump in the tank, which is accessible under the rear seat, one somewhere under the car, I believe, and the primary one, which is in the engine bay. I think that's the one that's playing up. So my mechanic came out, he plugged a diagnostic tool in, we took the wiring off, we took the plug off the one that's under the bonnet, sprayed some WD-40, put it back in, and it fired up to life. So I thought, oh, dodgy connection, bit of damp or moisture. But it played up again last night. I was driving to Tesco's, came out with the shopping, wouldn't fire up. Eventually did start, got the car home, pulled up outside the house, brought the shopping in, came back out, and wouldn't start again. Now, going on some forums, a lot of people have said that the lift pump in the tank might be the issue, and it causes a daisy chain effect, whereas the primary one is caused to work overtime. I hope it's not that. I hope that's not the situation. So we're going to change the one that's under the bonnet today, because this car came with a spare one. Has the previous owner experienced this problem before? I don't know, but this is a genuine Rover Land Rover fuel pump. In fact, it's listed for Freelander TD4, but it's the same diesel setup, I believe. So you have one electrical connection on top, a feed in and a feed out. So we're going to change that after some tea, of course. Let's see how this goes. Right, so here we are, guys. This is my Rover 75. Well, not this bit, this is the engine. That is the offending article, which I'm going to change in a bit. I'll show you how fiddly that is to get to in a second. But this is quite frustrating this has happened, really, because I need this car in running order. You don't buy a modern car to have to keep fixing it. But it is, I suppose, 23 years old now, so you've got to give it some slack, I suppose. But I'm going to start with taking the battery off, because I'll show you how fiddly the clamp is in a second. I'm going to take the engine cover off, because that'll give me better access to get my hands around the back of the pump. But yeah, let me bring the camera in, I can show you how fiddly this is. So, that's your fuel filter housing, and this is your fuel pump, which is housed with like a little U-shaped bracket which goes into the side of the battery tray. You can't get to the bolts of the battery tray without removing the battery, really. So that's going to have to come out of the way. We can unclamp it and hopefully put it up and forward, but I'm going to take the engine cover off just so I can get my hands, give a bit more freedom to get my hands around the back there. But, so I think that's 8mm bolts on there. That'll come off. Get the battery out of the way. I need to take the battery off anyway, because I've got an issue with the airbag light on. Since I moved the driver's seat, the light has come up, and hopefully disconnecting the battery will temporarily get rid of that. So crack on with the spanners and get this out, I suppose. What could go wrong? I should not have said that. I suppose you could argue this is strictly unnecessary, taking the engine cover off, but it's just going to give me a little bit more access, so I'm more in favour of that. Also give me a chance to have a look underneath and see what's going on, because I've not really inspected this car yet. So what's actually happened is the pump started sticking, I think. Because I said a gentle tap last night, it came back to life. I can't just keep hitting. Well, I could just keep hitting it, but it's not really giving me. I suppose it's giving me some more. Okay, right, good. So you've got 4 injectors along the top there. This is the injector harness, or wiring limb if you like, but we're not interested in that today. We want to get to this little puppy here, so hopefully I've actually filmed it. So I'm going to get the battery disconnected, because there are 2 bolts which pass through the side of the battery tray and hold this collar in place, which is what we need to get off. And then I've got that's just straight off, that unplugs. That's going to be a bit of a fiddle because it's crimped in place, and so is the one that feeds it from the underneath the pump as well. But we'll worry about that until I get to that. And this dome thing here is a huge shock absorber or mount, if you like, to stop the thing vibrating. So anyway, I'm going to get the battery off, and I'll report back when I've done that. 2 seconds, caller. So there's a 10mm in the battery tray to relieve the strap. Just taking that off. I can just sit out the way up there. Get that lost. Right, it looks like it's a 1/2 inch or 13mm on the battery. So I'm removing the negative terminal first, obviously. Tuck that out of the way, just like that. I'll pull this battery forward now. And for the sake of 2 seconds work just undoing the battery terminal rather than fighting against. Somebody said on the comments, not comments, sorry, I did a bit of googling last night and found a few posts on the MGZR 75 owners clubs, etc, etc. Oh, just wedge a hammer between the battery tray inside the battery and you'll get access to the clamp bolts. No, just do it properly. Well, that wasn't very tight. Bloody hell. I'm just going to keep twisting. Oh, that's actually loose. Wow. Okay. Right, remember that battery space was loose. That's stupidly loose. Okay. Well, at least it came undone. Oh, let's get this battery out. Just like that. So I misled you there. I didn't expect this to be... I thought this taking the battery out would allow you to get to the back of the clamp, but it looks like this plastic tray's got to come out as well. So once that's out of the way, once we've worked out how to do that... Okay. Give me a minute, guys, I've just got to figure this out. We've got problems. I'm trying to get this battery tray. 3 of the 4 bolts have come up, so it's going to be a bit of movement. But this one is rounded off. I've got some cheap Chinese star drives or spline sockets. They've just chewed that up. Problem is I need to get, you can see, that bolt there. So I'm going to try and get a spanner socket in there, because it's actually only bolted on at one corner. I think it hooks onto the other. So I'm not filming very well. It's hooked to that end and bolted this side. So if I can get a spanner in there, I've now got enough wiggle room to do that. I should be able to just get a spanner in there and why they bolted it in from the inside, I don't know, but I'm going to persevere in trying to get that clamp off. So, right, by some miracle, I've got an 8mm ratcheting spanner in there, and it is coming undone. So I've just got to persevere and undo that, get that bolt out, and then the clamp will release, and that'll give us the freedom we need to extract the pump, in theory. So, no time like the present to just crack on, guys. Actually, having the case here is pushing the ratcheting spanner up against the head of the bolt, so it's actually doing me a favour because it means it's not going to keep falling apart. I wonder. No, I think. I'm just wondering if I need to actually take the clamp off at all, just release it. No, I'm going to take it off completely, I think. Right, pump is loose. I've actually left that bolt in there because if I could pull the battery tray back, but I was struggling to get the clearance to get the bolt out. But it might actually be more beneficial in the long run to have the bolt there. But anyway, now it's just a question of disconnecting this feed here and the one that's underneath it and pulling the whole thing up, because it'll come out with the mounting bracket attached. So I'm just going to try and struggle to do that, guys. So again, you know the routine, bear with me, I shall be back when I've got some updates. It's all back together, but I just couldn't get to that bolt connection. I think I'm going to have to take it to a garage because there's no way I was going to start disturbing that bottom feed to the pump. I just cannot get decent enough access on it. I think with the battery box out of the way, it will give me some more wiggle room, but because that really needs to be, you need to be able to come in from the side, or because you just can't get to the pipes that come up underneath the fuel housing, go up into the base of the pump. I just can't get a grip on it. So rather than break anything, I'll put it back together, and I'm just going to have to carry the pump around the boot, and I have got breakdown, so not ideal really, but yeah, so close, guys, but just goes to show it doesn't always go according to plan. But yeah, now I'll put it back together. Will it start? It might not start at all. That's not good. So what that was, mugging the air in the system. So I think I'll leave it running for a bit, just make sure it's happy, gets up to temperature, and more importantly, make sure the fuel pump doesn't cut out. Right, I've got to go to my mum's this morning anyway, so she's about 10 miles from here, so just turn that down. Turn that down. So I'll go for a little run. If I'm going to break down, I'd rather break down somewhere close to home rather than 100 miles from home, because I've got to go away next week. Running absolutely fine. I've never had the problem with it running while running, but just the whole thing of whether it start when you park it up somewhere now. I can't live with a car that does that. So I have got breakdown, it's just the inconvenience of breaking down. You don't want to break down. Anyway, I'll wrap it up, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. So it's been a bit of an uneventful video. Still might be other issues. It might not be the pump under the bonnet. It might be the one in the tank, which, because I've got very little service history with this car, I don't know if they've ever been changed. But yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you soon with some more content. Take care, drive safe, and see you soon for a 5,000 subscriber special. Till then, take care and see you soon.